been a minute since I did a video about my G. So Project Fam, this is when I first bought it. This was actually about 11 years ago. I didn't do much to the car. The only thing I did was I put these Volson rims on. I love these rims. They're almost like a charcoal gray. They kind of set the car off. And that's all I did for 11 years. I featured it in a couple of videos. I don't think anybody saw it, but that's okay. I'm going to put it right here for you. It's pretty short. It was just showing me riding around in my Crocs way back in the days. Man, that shifter is so smooth. It's like butter. On the country roads doing my thing. As you know, I'm just a stone's throw away from putting my G on the market. But no one's going to want my G sounding like trash. In order for me to get a respectable price and for me to feel better at night, I'm going to have to make sure I fix my G so it doesn't sound like trash. I have an idea what I think it is. It sounds like it's the power steering pump because I'm also hearing some grinding noises when I start the car. So maybe it's not a grinding noise. It's more of like a moaning noise. It goes, wow, wow, wow. I mean, that's what it sounds like, but it's not low-end power steering. And every now and then, the steering would get just a little rough, a little hard. But I'm going to take it apart today. I'm going to take a better look at this power steering pump. Here I am checking out the filters. There's actually two filters, one little baby on that side, one little baby on the other side. So pro tip, anytime you are unscrewing bolts, instead of just kind of putting them aside, kind of screw them back into the place that you took them from. So that's what, when you're assembling the car, it won't be so hard to figure out which bolt goes where. Pro tip. You're going to see me do that a couple of times today. I'm just getting lazy with the power tool. So let's take off this cover. There we go. Putting the screws back so I don't have to look for them later. The only real changes I did to the G is I did change some of the radiator hoses. They're all red. And the intake hose right there on the left and right side, red silicone. Those are the only real changes. Other than that, I mean, it's been 116,000 miles of riding. Yep, there it is. That's my problem right down there. Let me take off the power cable so I don't short anything out like I did in the Porsche. And not only let me take this off, let me wrap it in a glove just to make sure that it doesn't slip back into place. That doesn't work. I need a glove. There's the glove. Put a glove to make sure that that power cable does not happen to touch that terminal and bring power back to the car when I'm doing something that I don't want power. So that's what I do sometimes, especially when the power cable just automatically wants to. When it wants to touch the terminal on its own. All right, so I'm taking off the left and right side. I'm not doing it in any particular order. I'm just kind of taking it off so I can kind of get to where I need to go. Another pro tip, as I set things on the table, I'm setting them in an order that I'll know which side goes which if it wasn't obvious. Oh my gosh, look at that power steering fluid. It looks gray. Ugh. It's a good thing we're going to swap out a lot of that power steering fluid. That's the bracket. So when it comes to these jobs, sometimes the hardest and longest part of, I shouldn't say the longest part, pause. The most difficult part of the job is getting the right tools for the job. Because without the right tools, man, you're just wasting your time. So what I'm trying to do now is get to the power steering pump. Nobody saw that, right? All right, so this is actually the second pump I got. The first pump I went and I bought from the local store, and it was wrong, and they didn't have the right configuration. So I went on the interweb, and I found the right pump. All I have to do is swap over that big circle pulley thingy. So I'll put the pulley onto the new pump and call it a day. Yeah, it looks the same. I think I did okay. Now what's interesting is on the old pulley, you remember that noise the car was making? It was making that god-awful noise when you start the car. Well, that pulley was also grinding. It was also making a noise. So as I put everything back together, yeah, fast forward. All right, let's get it started and see what it sounds like. Shit. Okay, it's gonna make that noise, wow, until I can get all of. Yeah, that was annoying. So until I can get all of the air out of the system and fill that with power steering fluid, it's going to make that noise. So now it sounds a lot better. And I gave you a quick snapshot underneath because you know I had to change the oil and filter while I was there. So this is me getting my G ready. So in addition to this, I took my G, got some new shoes, took them to the Bronx, had them installed. Not my Continentals like I always do. Just some tires that I can ride around in the meantime while I get G ready for sale. Oil looks good. It's not leaking anywhere. The power steering fluid looks good. Looks good. You know I'm finished when I'm wiping things down. Save more money this weekend, y'all. On to the next.